Why, hello. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. It's Paul Trani, and we're going to dive into this masterclass, sort of making symbols, logos in the forms of planets. We'll talk about constellations and zodiac signs, so hopefully you guys can see me okay. Good morning. Let me just raise my chair. There we go. Here I am. Good morning. All right, let's get this party started. Sam, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Awesome. Michelle, good to see you as well. And if you're joining me elsewhere, just know I'm mainly reading the Behance chat, and it's at behance.net/Adobe Live. So we're all good. Thanks, Frank. Heard great news about, Kyle Webster was singing your praises about the French stream that you helped him with, that you probably ran. So anyways, so just wanted to say thank you for that, because he had nothing but good things to say. All right, let's get this party started. I'm going to be using actually the iPad, which I'm connecting right now. So right over here. But basically, I'm going to be using Illustrator on the iPad, and then we'll switch to the desktop. Oh yeah. How is everyone? How's James? Beltrame, how you doing? Steve, what's up? I know you had some questions about NFTs. I'm going to be talking more about NFTs today on Clubhouse. So I guess watch out for my social media as I talk about that for a little bit, which will be fun. All right, cool. Looks like this is connected. So the short of it is, let's switch screens, shall we? Move this over. Oh man, I feel like I've been gone forever. Yeah, I just took Monday off. We had a snowstorm here in beautiful Colorado. And yeah, so that was a situation that happened. All right. Awesome. Cool. Good to have everybody here. So these are kind of like the zodiac signs, which I just think this is kind of interesting. These are fun symbols to make, right? I don't really, I'm exactly like the last one that I just read. So if you believe in horoscopes, that's kind of what I think. It's like, oh, I just read that. Oh, that's me. Because honestly, if I read enough Capricorns, it's a little too reserved. I'm a little bit more of a wild card these days. So anyways, wondering what you guys are. I'm a Capricorn. Where my Capricorns at, huh? Would love to hear. Oh, wait, hold on. I see you, Biola. You Capricorn as well? That is cool. But a lot of cool symbols. And you could just do a search, by the way. Let's just open up a browser. We'll do Zodiac signs, and that's all I did, by the way. I just kind of grabbed an image, just something to kind of have on the screen rather than switching back and forth between browsers. Okay, so here's another one. Speaking of which, let's just go and show you constellations. Sorry, I guess I'm not going to be able to. Anyways, we won't worry about it too much. But yeah, I've done some designs in Photoshop, but mainly we're going to use Illustrator today. This is interesting also, the different types of animals that they are. So my plan is not only to make the symbols, but also to draw the character as well, or the, I don't even know what you call it, the animal. So Capricorn actually is a horned sea goat. So that's my plan. But you have, Scorpio, which is scorpion, Aquarius, which is water, Pisces, fish, Virgo, virgin. You guys get the idea. Cool. All right. Scorpion. Approach is a scorpion. Mercurial, you're a Aquarius. Cool. So I think it's fun just to kind of search on Aquarius personality, for instance, just for fun. And again, I am not Aquarius, but Mercurial is. So let's just see what it says. You're a rebel at heart. Okay, so I'm more Aquarius than Capricorn. So anyways, fun stuff. You guys get the idea. Capricorn. Just wondering if you guys live up to yours. Would love to hear. I'm pragmatic and ambitious. I'm not pragmatic. I hardly even know what that word means. But I'd like to think I'm more of a free spirit. All right, so enough of that. Read up on that stuff because it's super fun to read, totally into it, And I love like tarot cards, but I don't get involved with a lot of that, but I love the art of these cards and the art of Zodiac and everything. So we're going to make our own cool ones. Here it is. Dropped it in here. This is just an AIC file, so it's saved as a cloud document. So we can do a save as. It's saved as a cloud document. We'll do astrology start, right? You get the idea. And then I'm going to switch over to my iPad. Ooh, look, Scorpio, Aphrodia, look at you, fancy Gemini. Ah, this is fun. I'm like, I have no idea what that means. So again, I'm new to this. But it's certainly fun to think about, and it's a fun subject matter, right? Because you know what? The Greeks are like, hey, you know what? You should have a logo for your sign. I'm like, that's awesome. So here we are. So you can see I'm actually on my iPad. I'm in Illustrator, and I see that same exact file that I can then open up like I'm doing right now. Okay, so here we are. Same file, same magic that you've seen. You guys get the idea. Sagittarius. What does that make you be creative? I'm just kind of curious. Laura's a Taurus. Ah, I love it. Like a bull. That's so cool. All right, so let's just jump in here. I'm just going to do this quickly. Oh, geez, why am I grabbing the wrong pen? I was grabbing my Wacom pen and expecting it to work on my iPad. That's silly. Apple Pencil, iPad, pretty straightforward. Oh, that's interesting, Stephen Booth, the Crowley deck. I'm interested in that. But let's just take some of these. Let's do some of these that you guys just like say what you are, and I'll draw that symbol if you guys don't mind, because I need something to start with. Taurus is pretty easy. I see Taurus out there, but let me know what you are, and I'll quickly kind of knock that out. And I'll point out some pro tips as we get into this, right? First thing is you need to make sure it will always select the topmost layer. So if you have it locked or hidden, you're not going to be able to draw. So I always just have that topmost layer empty, and then I can begin. Okay, so Taurus, like I mentioned, draw that out. I can now, I can hold on the Shift key and kind of stretch that out. You could do this a number of ways. I'll just use the pencil tool and just do something like that, right? And we can make this exact if we want to, but I'd say that's done, huh? We're just getting started. As I shrink this down again, holding down the... let's do Cancer. Can I? Scorpio. Where's Scorpio? Scorpio is good. Okay, let's do it. Zip, zip. Right, there we have one curve. We want to do this next curve. We want that curve to be actually exactly the same. So we'll bring that down. You might have these extraneous points. See that one right here? Like I don't really want that point. I can remove it by doing a smart delete, and that gets rid of that point without kind of ruining the shape. But there we can tighten up that curve like so. Taking that, of course, duplicating it, moving, oops, did I not duplicate it? Duplicating it, and then moving it over just like that. Pencil tool is still selected because I need to kind of continue and make that like little arrow. I can go ahead and draw, and then there you guys get the idea. This all needs some adjustments. Looks like it did duplicate it. There it is. Let's move this into position. And let me show you some other things. I got to get into so much of this stuff. Let's do something more interesting now, okay? So these are pretty straightforward. This is like just creating some simple lines. Okay, that doesn't even look that perfect, right? Just kind of need to move that down. I did duplicate it a couple times. That's what I thought. Okay, so there that is. I can take this. Now, I need to shrink this down. I want to be mindful, in app settings, you have the ability to scale strokes and effects, which I actually don't want to do, right? So I want to just keep that same stroke size, and we can view it. It's 10 points. Take that, shrink it down. There we go. We'll just kind of move that up. Let's do another one really fast. Shoo, 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 shoo. Cancer as well. Tell me, how's the music, everybody? Is it even playing? I've been playing with the volume. Can you hear any music? I'll turn it up a touch. I think I got it dialed in. So smart delete. Yes, Rick, it's awesome. Oh, it's so good. Like, let's take a look at this, Rick. Let's say, for instance, again, this line right here. I'll select that center point. I kind of don't really need it because the Beziers on the side control that curve, right? So smart delete is not only off to the side right there, but it's also, and again, I'm gonna switch screens and we'll zoom in on this even more. Some stuff might get cut off, but this helps you see it. It's right next to the trash can, smart delete. Boom. So we have less points, and this shape didn't change at all. This is not on desktop. Thank you, Sam. You are so kind. All right, so there we are. We'll group this. This, for this shape, right, there's two of them. Maybe I'll shrink it down a little bit to size. Oh, I just discovered something fascinating. I could use this constrain, this control button. Holding that down, I'm constraining its, that should be constraining its size. Hold it down, it should say constrained. And then I can just shrink it up. But what I want to do is jump in here. I need to make a second one. I could duplicate it, I could flip it and flip it again, or what I can do is I can use Radial. Here we have our lovely Radial repeat. Right? So that's pretty cool. Right, but I don't need so many of them. Let's dial this down. Dot, 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 dot. Let's center this into position so you guys can see it a little better. But now I'm just making it so there's just... Oh, I've done this before. Whew. 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 So cool. We'll have so many of them. I'm going to dial this down just so there's a couple of them, just so there's two. Ooh. There we go, and then we can move those together like that. But I just love this lovely mirroring feature, right? It's not mirroring, it's like flipping horizontally and vertically. So there you are. And the nice thing is I can always like adjust this. Like, okay, that should be more like that. Cool. There's Cancer. That's the only time. Yeah, there we go. Hello, Elijah. Big chick. Good to see you. So there we have that. I'm going to get into, I am Capricorn, so this will take 2 seconds too, by the way. Draw this in like so. Draw that down. There's our swooshy. There it is. Taking this, shrinking it down. And then we have Capricorn. You guys get it. I'm not going to do all of these, of course, because you would be bored out of your mind. Oh, Steve, there's a bit. Steve, it's probably like 10 p.m. I don't know. What time is it in New Zealand? Because you're always worthy. You always, you know what? You guys, you deserve a nap, whoever you are. I don't know who needs to hear that. But yeah, you know what? Naps are a good thing. You know? I hope this stuff inspires you and you get excited and you're up till 2 a.m. doing this stuff. And then also that you know that you deserve a nap after that. All right, let's do this. We're going to do a curve. Ready? Lovely curve. I'm going to do Aquarius now. Whereas Gemini... Yeah, Gemini is super easy. So here's Aquarius. Aquarius is going to be water. So I just drew out a wave. Okay. Oh, it's 3 a.m. Wow, Steve. What a trooper. So that's all I'm doing. Drawing that out. I'm going to go to my repeat elements. And I'm going to go to grid repeat. Now we have this lovely grid repeat. It's repeating many times as we can see. You get the idea. Okay, we can take this. We can scoot them closer together. Link that up like so. Fantastic. The cool thing is like waves aren't usually this orderly, right? So we could go in our properties panel down there at the bottom. Desperately want to zoom in on this. Yes, Tunk AI for Illustrator on the iPad. Okay, so right down here, I can adjust and change the grid type to offset the top row from the next row. So offset the rows, right, like that. And then if I offset the columns, it's going to look all kinds of funky. But just kind of keep in mind you have those sort of controls when it comes to using grid repeat. And again, you could flip it if you want to, and have as much fun with this as you want. So this is fun for waves. Flip columns. Yeah, but again, I'm trying to make waves. I would do something like that. I don't know. And just, I don't know. Maybe that's okay. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. Well, let's just move on. Technically, it's offset. Well, that's fine. You guys get the idea. That's not much of a wave, but I was just kind of showing you that capability. It looks better when there's more waves, let's be honest. Froja's in the house. Fantastic. Let's do this dance. Let's create something even more elaborate and gorgeous. So, the lovely Capricorn is sea goat, like I mentioned. So what I have here is an ibex, which is probably like the coolest animal I've seen. Like, look at this awesome ibex. Tell me this thing isn't awesome. It's basically it's a mountain goat in the mountains of Italy, the Alps there, I take it. But this is sort of like the my template that I'm going to use for Capricorn. So, enough talking, more doing. Let's jump in here. I'm just going to like outline this. Ooh. In fact, let's turn that off. Let's select it. Just going to go in, select that layer, and I can just take down the transparency so everybody can see it nice and neat. And now we can jump in and start to outline this. And again, I'm just using pencil. The reason this is going to go so smooth, and let me just change this down to like 5 or 6, it's because I have smoothing kind of cranked up 3/4 of the way. So now I can jump in and just say, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Oh yeah, let's get his like goatee, as it's known. Go down. I'm continuing my line. In the parts where I need more detail, I will take that smoothing down and then still continue my line. Because some of this, I'm like, well, I want to capture each one of those joints like so. Okay. Maybe take the smoothing up a little bit. Because with the smoothing down, with less smoothing, it's going to give me more points. Yeah, Dan, the man, I am not sure if it's the one that climbs the walls to lick the salts. Yeah, I don't know. I know most goats do that. And honestly, like, I think owning like a baby goat would just be the best. Because aren't little like baby goats so cute? How they jump? And they're trying to get high, and they'll like get up on a little ledge, and they're like, "Oh, look, I'm high." I just think baby goats are cool. Oh wait, I don't need to draw this part. What am I even doing, Paul? Because the thing is this is half. This is going to be half a fish as well. So it's like, it's a sea goat. So that's what we're doing. No worries. I just kind of don't need a couple of those points. We'll just delete. Oop. We'll jump in here. We'll hit that delete. And let's continue this. And then we'll get into that part. By the way, we have a fantastic day full of like... Oh, we have some master classes, so those will be fun. Gonna bring that up like that. All day today, it's just like our chance to, you know, mostly like evangelists get a chance to kind of take over things and, you know, just kind of have some fun. Personally, I think I get into a little bit more detail when it's sort of apps that are new. Since Illustrator on iPad's new, I'm explaining everything a little bit more, of course. Okay, this part, look at this. This is interesting. Do you see this? So we have this sweet point right there. We don't have it right here. Well, again, it's just going to be this angle, by the way. So if I just kind of stretch that out, you'll kind of see that click into place like so. Okay. So again, you could tweak that all you want, right? This one I still might think that might have a lot of points. I can always, rather than doing the smart delete, oh, Viola, you became a vegetarian because of a goat? I bet you it was like the cutest goat. Was it? Goat is interesting because we don't really eat it here in the US, but I feel like in other countries, like, I don't know, like Iran, Iraq, like that area tends to have more goat. Again, it's all based on the availability of the protein in your area. All right, cool. So there that is. So this is what I want to show you. So I might need to, I want less points for this. I can always go in off to the side and yeah, there we go. So I have all those points selected. A second ago, I did not have all these points selected. I go over here to this path menu, and let's just hide that. Path menu right here, and all I need to do is simplify path. So I'll hit that, it will simplify the path. I could hit that as many times as I want, it's gonna keep simplifying. All right, let's move on. How much time I got? 22 minutes in? Let's get this party started. Let's send this to the back. Come on, Ibex. You majestic creature, you. You need an eye, for one. How about that? Let's give you an eye. That'd probably help. He's like, I can't see. There we go, that works. That works for now. It kind of looks like he's squinting. I don't know if I like this, but what we will do is throw in a little circle. So, and the circle is just going to have white in the center, and we're going to make sure that's on top. So I'm just adding a little highlight, right? Kind of depending on the eyes, right? That's okay. Could be even smaller. An eye will work. Isn't it fascinating, Josh and everyone, that like that goats have square or rectangle eyes? Like, I think they're just like such interesting creatures, and I'm not sure why that is. Why the heck is that? Okay, there we go. Here's our goat, excuse me, portion, and now I need to go ahead and draw the fish portion. So we're just gonna have, in fact, let's just remove this point right here. Let's come in here, pencil tool. We'll go down, around, like that. Kind of like that. Yeah, it needs to be cleaned up. Help us all. Yeah, it does. Look at that. Let's fix it, folks. How's everybody doing this fine Friday, huh? Is it treating you well? You guys happy? You happy? Is it a good day? Is it a good day to be alive? I think so. All right, so this piece we can continue. Kind of in relation to the rest of it. There we go, something like that. Again, a situation where I have too many points. All right, this is all looking very funky. But hey, that's why I haven't submitted it to the client yet. You feel me? Okay, I have this situation with this overlap that I will fix. Right? Trying to follow the conversation. So this is a case where I have this overlap. I get it. I need to fix it. Let's fix it right now. I'm going to separate out the tail from the rest of this object, right? And that's why I'm glad you guys are here. Because this is like real world stuff. The client needs this today. Oh man, right? So there that is. This point right here, I don't know if you can see, it's right above my head. Boop. Beep. Boop. This one I'm going to go ahead and chop. Gonna cut it in half. You can see the scissors, oh lordy, down at the bottom, and this is why, this is the only problem I have with demoing on an iPad. You can't really see some of these things that I'm working on. Right, I can't zoom in, that's the problem. Let's do this. There we go. Right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this path by clicking this button. All these shortcuts, they're all right over here, by the way. Boop. There we are, and you can see it says cut path. So I could use either one, totally up to you. Cut path, obviously I cut it. And now we have this in front, and then this behind, and I no longer have that weird overlapping issue. Cool, there we go. The tail needs to be bigger and more swooping and all the stuff. All the things. Let's move in. All right. Okay, so goats have rectangular pupils to give them better peripheral vision. Makes sense to me. Just the thing is, like, when it looks like a rectangle that is like a horizontal, like, rectangle. Like, what does it do about up and down? Like, you ever see pictures of, or video footage of like an eagle picking up a goat? Like, what if something's below you? Isn't most things, if you're a mountain goat, are most things down from you? You think it would be like this way. Anyways, I could be wrong. I know nothing other than what I'm doing right now. And even then, it's questionable. All right, let's continue. I know nothing. Right, so I'm just playing with the positioning of this overall. Right, I feel like it needs to be kind of like a little bit more like that. Right? This whole fish portion needs to be just a little bit more in position, kind of like that. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Again, still using the pencil. Oops. You want to change something from a sharp point to a curved point? Go ahead and do that. Just by double tapping on it. I don't know, kind of like that. All right. This little thing is crazy. Yeah. Oh, goats see in panorama. How impressive is that? Like a huge, of course we do too. I can see about 180. I can see both my hands when they're at my sides out of my periphery. So if they could see even farther, that is so impressive. So anyway, you guys needed to call me out on my tail here. You're like, Paul, that tail is atrocious. It is pretty bad. Okay, add a point just by using the pen tool. Let's do something like that. I usually work from references, right? Because I'm like trying to produce something that looks like it's, you know, somewhat realistic, or at least resembles a tail. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, done. Let's do a couple of things since we have this. And let me check the time. 8:30. Perfect. Let's add some textures and some colors to this. Definitely some texture. All right, so that's the plan. I think I'm going to do that on another layer. I don't really need that background anymore, so let's just turn that off. Let's take this guy. Huh? Glorious ibex crazy creature of sorts, And let's add some detail. So right here, I could double tap and just call this sea goat. So you see this goat? Add a new layer, and this is going to be my detail layer, where I would just jump in and start adding some detail, like that. Right, and this is why I would add this on a new layer, because then I can just jump in, lock everything down, select everything, make sure this has just some rounded corners. That looks better. Let's add some more to this as well. There's 3 on one side and 2 on another. Let's fix that. Shall we? Okay, right down here. Let's do this. You ready for this? We're gonna do the texture for the tail. Hello, Maz. I see you over there. Welcome. I see you joining on YouTube. I'm on behance.net/Adobe Live today. So for this, I want to kind of create like, I want to create scales the lazy way, because I just don't want to do individual scales if I can help it. I kind of want to, this is really an icon anyway, so I want to kind of symbolize this in an easier way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank up the stroke, right? Cranking up the stroke, and then let's go ahead and give it a dotted line, basically. So we could take down the dash size, take that all the way down to 0, and then increase the gap size. So what I'm doing here is using this dash line to kind of simulate texture on a tail. Kind of like that. This is also my favorite thing, is because since I've already established this stroke with all these different properties, right? So the line has changed. I love how Illustrator on the iPad just samples your previous stroke, and then you continue to kind of draw with it. So now I have those lovely dots, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to do something kind of like that. I don't know. It might not work. But you know what? I'm willing to try anything at least once. So we do that a little bit. Let's take these. These are going to be a little bit thicker, right? A little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, right? I don't know. I'm just trying to make this work. Maybe this needs to be tightened up some. But I do want to create this nice transition. Oops. And I want to be mindful of this whole tail. Just go. Just do it, Paul. Just do it. Jump in. Let's take this down a touch. Continue to draw. It gives it like a nice like depth too with these curved lines. Take that down a little bit. Oh. Let's go down. I could always tap on that. I want to do 8, typing in 8. Oop. 7. Let's take this next one down to like 6. One more. Go down to 4. Something like that. Then it just starts to fade into the let's go down to 1. No, 2. Oh. All right. You get the idea. Right, so that's what we're doing. Something kind of like that. Gives it a little bit of texture. Looks nice. So Josh, what do you, I would have done the exact same thing. I would have just, if I wasn't on a stream, I would get lost listening to music and the whole thing would be covered in dots. I would look up and like, oh yeah, the whole thing is now scales. Because no, some of this needs to be, of course, like fur. So that's what I'm going to change. I actually need to kind of change this little part right here. All right, again, just jump in there. Smart delete this bad boy. Boom, boom. Double tap, right? Boom. Make those little fun little like spikes or whatever. Let's give it some texture. I'm just do this really fast. We got some new things coming for Illustrator on the iPad that I can't share with you yet, but I'm so excited to when I get a chance. But let's just do something kind of like that. We'll just do this a little bit. You know, not too much. We're just kind of hinting at, I guess, fur, right? And let's do like a little mouth. Oops. Not like that, just like, well, I don't even know if it needs it. But you get the idea. I don't know, something kind of like that. Does that work? Hey, did I miss a good idea in there? All right. Yeah, hear ya. All about naps. Oh, what is this missing? He's missing his other like leg. So let's add that. Jumping in there. We'll go to that same layer actually. Just like make sure nothing is selected. And then let's just kind of draw that in really fast. It might not need it, but let's just put it in there anyway. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to throw some color in the background. Let's change the thickness of this line. There we go. Oh, geez. Hello. Oh, that's 6 point. This needs to be 6 point. Again, a good way to just like jump in and sample that is select that line, and then when I start drawing, it's the same thickness. Okay. Brushes would be great. By the way, there are, right in here, just so you know, Viola, if I do a long press on the pencil, you can see we do have the blob brush. So let's crank this up a lot. Oh, I guess it doesn't really... Oh, wait. We're still working on that. We have a blob brush that you could use. Okay. Big things coming there. I just can't talk about some of this stuff, but it's coming. I must say that like I've had more fun with like drawing with the pencil in Illustrator on the iPad over desktop. Like I didn't use the pencil like that much, but man, 100% on my iPad I use the pencil like all the time. All right. Let's move on. Let's see what's behind this lovely character. Maybe we'll create a new layer. This will be our background layer. Let's just draw out like a circle with a color. See what happens. Oh, good. There we go. So we could do something like that. Maybe come in here, use a triangle. Couple different colors just to make this look interesting. Give it a little splash of color. There we are. Annika, what is up? Good to see ya. Also right up here for these horns also could use a little texture. I could do, again, the same thing, same way I made the tail. I'm not going to, but like, if I go back to my ibex, let's just see what it looks like. And why am I not? Oh, there it is. There's our lovely friend. Okay, so I'm just realizing that it's hard to tell. You do have all these layers in here. Where the heck are these? That's so weird. So, okay, this is not perfect. Anyways, I'm talking to myself. New layer. Paste. There we go. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, anyway, so he has some texture on his horns. That's all I was going to show you. Let's turn all this stuff back on. Let's go in here, make sure we're on that detail layer, and just start drawing out some lines that have a certain thickness to them. And I'm going a little fast, so let's just do this. Same thing for this, it could get a little thicker as we go down. You do have outline mode, right? So right in here, this will happen, especially if you're using the pencil tool. I would encourage you to get a like a screen protector, something that's paper is a good one. Paper.li, is that right? Will just give you like a little bit of grit when it comes to drawing, because you need like a little bit of drag just to slow down your Apple Pencil. So obviously these were off. Another thing I will do is make sure when I'm drawing that the smoothing is cranked all the way up, because I want these nice smooth lines. There we go. All right, let's get on with the program. Hurry up, Paul. Do your thing. What in the world am I even doing? Let's turn this back on. Let's go back to outlines. Or excuse me, back to preview. Yeah, that's what was going on, huh? Lock down those other things. Let's turn off that. And select these. Crank it up. All right. If I had more time, I would add some more detail in here. But look, we're just going to do this. Horn real fast. Okay, done. Okay. So what that does is that kind of balances out the tail. All that detail was existing in the tail, and I think adding more detail to like the horns and probably the ear, you know, is just going to help it define it a little bit more on this side. Sort of with the upper body. There we go. Done. 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 All right. Yeah, I was just talking to myself. I'm getting all stressed out. Just kidding. So this software, for those just tuning in, let me just jump out. This is Illustrator on the iPad. Whoop, there we are. Let's throw some text around this. So let's do this. We're going to take text, boom, boom. There we are. Selecting this. Capricorn. Crank it up. We'll make this all caps, center it, and we'll draw out a circle. Drawing out that circle, like so. Now we can select both of these, because I want this to go along the curve of this circle right here. I'll select both, right? We'll go to the text off to the side. Hopefully everybody can see that. The type menu. So right over here and select type on a path, okay? In this case, it doesn't quite show. Oh yeah, there it is. Boop, there it is. So you just move that around. Adjust this all I want with these various controls, right? So I'll kind of move it there, get that right in the center, hopefully. And you can control, obviously, where this is. You can drag it on the inside and the outside. You don't need to hold down any special key like you do on the desktop. But with that selected, let's shrink this text down. We're going to give it a lot of spacing. You could always tap on any one of these input fields. Let's go to 1,000. There we go. We want to give it like 1,000, a lot of spacing, right? And that's more along the lines of what I want. Let's go even higher than that. Let's go 1,500. Go big or go home. There we are. That looks good, right? We could just like rotate that like so. 18. Yeah, buddy. I don't know. Is that too much? Maybe that's too much. Did I go too far? There we go. Boom. Easy enough. Dan the man's out. He's taken off. He's got stuff to do. He's a mover and a shaker. But thanks for joining me today, by the way. I'm here every Friday. I have about 8 minutes. So again, Naranja, just so you know, this is Adobe Illustrator. As you can see, that icon right up at the top. And we're almost done with this. So we're going to kind of move on. We're going to take this. I have all these crazy symbols up here. Don't really need all of them. Why can't I select them? I don't. Oh, there we go. Because they're on that layer. Taking these. These are ones I may or may not need. We'll move them off to the side. This one I'm going to group. And this could go somewhere in there as well. Who knows, right? We'll just do something like that just for fun. Take that. Scale it up. Center that. And we'll get this on the desktop just for fun. By the way, if I want to add more color to this, I could go in here and go to gradient, right? And here you have, you should have gradient controls. So you could go linear, right? We can see that. Change that from green to yellow, or kind of dip more into the pink if we want to. But you could obviously see you could add gradients, right? It's all pretty straightforward there. One of them might be lighter than the other, but that's all we'll do. Okay, cool. We got that. That's looking pretty good. I play with the colors all day long till I'm sick of it, but all I'm doing is closing that file and we can switch over to the desktop. You know, and you don't even need to switch to the desktop, by the way. Will there be a news show on Monday? Yes, there will be. We got a lot to show and talk about. Gosh, a little bit of everything. I've been like really into the NFT stuff. You know, not that you're going to make millions off of it, but it's interesting talking about what's interesting for designers, right? Because it is. It's kind of cool. All right, here we are. There it is. The one that I was just working on. Let's go ahead and open it up. Be your best, people. Yeah, We could talk about NFTs all day long, right? But I'm just glad the people that have been posting to Instagram for likes, you know, can kind of finally, like, you know, get paid for their hard work. It's like, can you imagine? We basically post things to Instagram just to have people like us, which seems silly. All right, so here we are on the desktop. Everything comes through. Here's that variable concept, or excuse me, the font that needs to be played with. But honestly, I would just maybe make it a little bit more bold. I wouldn't go too crazy with it. You know, I almost want it to be the same thickness of the line. And we can take this one. Again, everything came through exactly as expected. There's that lovely line. It seems a little thick. We know that size of everything else is about 6 point. Do I do something like that? Okay. Remember how we made this? I'll move this down. This was made, and I'm sorry you can't see it based on the outline color, but this was made using the repeat, the Radial repeat. And you can see that comes through because Radial repeat's available on the desktop, right? So you could always go down to Object, Repeat, and there we are. This is the Radial repeat, just so you know. If likes could buy food. Hey, Kimmy J's in the house. Do you go by Kimmy J? Because I just like the sound of Kimmy J. Exactly. Likes don't put food on the table, right? But at the end of the day, just like any other industry, it's probably going to be the top 10% that are very pale in complexion because they work their butt off. That probably will get the most attention, right? That's just that goes for any industry. If you look at the music industry, all that stuff, like, I don't know. I just think that stuff's fascinating. We play a small segment of, say, classical music. Out of all the classical music out there, we play like this much. But anyways, I'll stop. People do book work through Instagram. Yeah, not to say that it's not worth it, but like you know, you probably spend a lot of time on artwork just to, at the end of the day, like maybe have people like it. It's just a whole fascinating concept, you know? But the goal is, like, you know, just like with traditional art, you know, maybe you could own an original. And I get it. We can talk about that being an original, right? Because, yeah, anybody can save a JPEG, but that doesn't mean you own it. And I'm just happy that the mere fact that we're talking about ownership is a huge deal, right? Nobody talks about ownership when we talk about digital design. Sometimes it's like, who created it? You're like, whatever, I'm just going to repost it. So, I don't know. What do you guys think of this? Does this need... What does it need? What does it need, folks? Let's get rid of that stuff. Get rid of that noise. Put that on a new layer and just hide it. I like how clean this is. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Steven, if the amount of times that happened to me if I got $1 for every time that happened to me, I would have $0. Who I get contacted by is everybody wanting me to pay them to promote my own work. That's right. Oh, thank you. Oh, good call. Sean with the win, the eagle eye. It's like, yeah, this isn't colored. Get your act together. No wonder you're. No wonder nobody's buying your work. Not that I'm selling it, by the way. It's your lack of attention to detail, Paul. That's your problem. Oh, nobody's paying me for what I'm doing. Well, maybe if you would just be better. I'm talking to myself. Down to last 2 minutes. We finished this. I'm going to go ahead and post it to the Instagram and all the things. Thank you, Sean. I might tweak it a little bit more. But thank you to all the Capricorns and Virgos and Aquariuses and Cancers out there. Background might need a gradient. Hey, it wouldn't be Paul if we didn't throw a gradient in there. But I like the simplicity of it right now. And I just like you guys for hanging out with me. So you guys are fantastic. Michelle is always so nice. Thank you so much, Michelle. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. Stick around. We got T. White in the house. He's going to be doing a little photography masterclass. So thank you, Sam, everybody. Take care of one another. Be kind. Call your mom. Maybe give somebody a virtual hug in the words of encouragement. So awesome, Rick. Thanks, everybody. T White up next. Thank you so much, everybody. And look for some of the stuff on Instagram as I get paid no money for anything I do. Just kidding. We'll talk to you guys soon.